What's going on, everybody? So it's your boy Fearless here, and today we're gonna take a look at how to make trap drums that just smack. So if you're ready to jump into this, let's do it. So I usually like to start off with the snare, because with the snare you get kind of a bass with everything else. You kind of need that thing hitting every so often so that you get a little groove and you can feel where you need to place your drums. Alright, so the snares are obviously going to be super basic. You could put some extra notes in here, or you could use another snare instrument, which is what we're going to do to kind of fill in those gaps. But if you wanted to use just one snare, you could do something like this. So you could do something like that. So sometimes when I'm making the second snare, I'll play it on the actual keyboard just so I can get a feel of what's going to sound good in the moment. But another thing you can do is just drag over your snare MIDI here, and so you can see where the notes are going to be playing, and then you can pick out where they're going to go. So alright guys, so now I'm going to build out the hi-hat pattern, but I'm going to speed up my process so that I don't have to bore you with it. But if you're interested in how to make really hard hi-hats every single time, I just dropped a new tutorial where I go over like 3 different patterns and techniques that you can use to make awesome hi-hats every single time. I'll drop a card right here so you can check that out after this video. Alright, so now we're going to do like an open hi-hat, and there's a lot of different places that you can put these. It's all dependent on where you think it sounds good. So you could either start them off at the beginning, you could do them like this, you could do them, you know, offset like that. You could maybe double them up and do like 2 in a row or do something like that, but it's all basically going to be on where it feels good to you. So let's start playing around with it and see what's going to work for us. Alright, so 2 main things that I like to do when I'm building my 808s. So I'm either going to play some quick 808s at the beginning like this and then leave room until I do my next set of 808s. Or instead of that, I would either play a long 808 right here, give it a little bit of a pause in this area, and then maybe pick something up right here as well. That'll sound cool. Alright, so basically what I'm doing is I am following the bass line of the piano, or I guess it wasn't a piano, it was strings. So I'm following the bass line of the strings, just those notes. And if you didn't create the melody, if you're using a loop or something like that, what you would want to do is go ahead and raise these up a couple octaves like this. And then while you're playing these notes with the instrumental, you'll be able to tell right away if they're in or out of the groove. So let's check this out. Alright, now if we put this up 1 more note, you'll be able to tell right away that it's off. And once I get a bass line down, I can add like little things in like this, once I'm feeling good about it. And I always like to make these 8 bars just so it's not repeating over and over again. Now you don't even have to do that. It's all preference, but I'm going to make it a little bit different on the second part. I think I want to put a little roll in here. So rolls are a really nice way to spice up your 808s. And what you can do is you could go ahead and just put it in here. You could do triplet grids. I mean, you have like free range. You can do pretty much anything. And what I like to do is I like to actually ease into the velocity. So start really low and kind of edge your way up. And on my perks, I usually have it play in one spot every 2 or 4 bars, depending on how it sounds. You don't want it to be too much, you don't want it to be too little. Alright, so now that I've been listening to this a little bit, I think this extra note that was right here was a little bit too much for our open hi-hat, so I'm going to take that out. And again, this is all going to be listening to it over and over again and just making sure that everything is sounding good. Alright, lastly, let's go ahead and put our kick in here. So for the kick, you could honestly just put it on the 1 in each spot and call it a day. You don't need the kick to be playing every single time the 808 is. And that's the other thing you could do. You could just have it play when the 808 is playing. But if you put it just on the 1, it'll hit hard, then it'll let the 808 have its time to breathe, and then it'll come back in right here and hit hard again. So let's hear this. So this is what we got now that we wrapped everything up together. Alright guys, this wraps up the trap drums. Hope you liked this tutorial. Smash that like button if you liked it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new here because we're uploading new tutorials every single day, brah. But besides that, I'll be catching you again in the next one. Peace out.